Welcome to our second installment for mat yoga for any kind of troubling neck or shoulder discomfort. So let's always start off with 2 feet flat on the ground. And let's start to unwind through the shoulders here. And remember, if it's not comfortable to roll the shoulders back and down, we can just lift them and lower them as we relax the shoulders. Starting to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, as long as those passageways are clear. And if they're not clear today, let's just breathe as comfortably as we can. One more time, rolling the shoulders back and down. And let's stand up nice and tall, feeling each foot firmly connected to the earth beneath us, engaging the abdominals, lifting up tall through the crown of our head. You're welcome to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Let's bring our focus to the sound of our healthy breathing and allow all other thoughts to fade away. And as we feel those stray thoughts fading away, we bring ourselves to this present moment, right here, right now. And we find our hearts shining with gratitude for the time that we've set aside for today's practice. Grateful to be moving the body in all of its intended ranges of motion. And always grateful for this body and this breath that carries us everywhere we go. And as we hear the sound of our healthy breathing, we remember to breathe throughout each pose rather than holding the breath if a pose is too challenging for us. And with each nourishing inhale, we breathe fresh oxygen into the body and the mind. And with each exhale, we're letting go of judgment and competition, and even letting go of our own expectations, allowing ourselves to see what these healthy bodies can do when given the opportunity. Let's take a few more cleansing and centering breaths. And when we're ready, let's slowly open our eyes. Now we're going to start off with a little bit of neck movement today that's meant to stretch out those muscles there. So let's inhale tall. And on the exhale, let's just gently lower the chin toward the chest, holding it there for 2 breaths. Feeling that nice stretch behind the neck. And on the next inhale, let's gently lift the head to just above parallel. So a little lift of the chin, and we'll take 2 breaths here. Now let's bring the chin back to parallel to the ground, inhaling tall. Let's exhale, gently tilting to one side. Taking 2 breaths here. And on the next inhale, let's lift the crown. And on the exhale, we tilt to the other side. On the inhale, let's lift all the way back up. And on the exhale, turning our head to look over one shoulder, taking 2 breaths here. And on the inhale, we come back to the center and we exhale, turning in the opposite direction. And then let's bring the head back toward the center. So let's bring both hands together here at the heart. On the inhale, let's press the sky and the ground away with opposite arms. And on the exhale, we come back to the chest. Inhale, reach out the other way. Exhaling and coming back. So remember, everything that we do in this practice is meant to feel good for the neck and the shoulders. It may feel a little challenging at times, but there is nothing here that's meant to be uncomfortable. So if we're feeling any discomfort, let's remember to ease back into a more comfortable place. Couple more times on each side. Just stretch those arms out. We're really just starting to lubricate the joints here for the shoulders. One more time in each direction. Feeling that nice opening through the chest too as a bonus. Now let's reach behind us with both arms like you're holding onto a beach ball. And on the exhale, a gentle rounding of the spine for a tree hug. Let's inhale and open up the chest. Exhale and round. One more time in each direction. Now let's bring those arms back to a neutral position, rolling them back and down. Now let's continue to roll those shoulders back, feeling the chest opening for us. One more time, rolling the shoulders back. Now let's roll the shoulders forward. Now we'll roll the shoulders back to come back into a nice, tall, neutral position. Let's inhale the left arm up to shoulder height, watching the tips of our fingers as we gently twist through the torso. Inhaling back to the center and exhaling down. Other side. Let's inhale up. Gently twist. Inhaling back to the center, and we exhale down. One more time on each side, a lateral raise with a gentle twist. Now, let's inhale the left arm up, reaching right up alongside the body. Reach as high as you can, and then a little side bend. Inhale, lift, lift, lift through the trunk, and exhale that arm down the body. Inhaling the other arm up, reach high, then a side bend. Inhaling and lifting, exhale, lower down. Couple more times on each side. Now let's lower that arm down, roll the shoulders back. Let's take a nice wide stance here on the mat. Remember, in our wide stance, when we bend our knees, we're hoping we can still see our toes down there because it's a good wide base. So first, let's inhale the arms up to a star pose. Reach for the corners of the sky. And then on the exhale, bend the knees, bring the elbows in toward the ribs. Then inhale and reach out. Exhaling down. This is our moonflower flow. And again, we're going to listen to the body throughout the practice. So if your arms start to get tired, you can always just take the arms out and just do a squatting flow here. So think about what you need from this practice and never be afraid to change things up. A couple more of these moonflowers. Now, let's hinge forward like you're gathering some strawberries. And on the inhale, just lift the arms to shoulder height. Exhale, hinging, inhaling and lifting. Keeping the abdominals strong as we hinge forward and also as we rise up. Hinging sunflower flow. Two more breaths here. Now this time we're going to lift the arms to shoulder height. Turn the palms up. Lift the arms up overhead. Then bring them down to shoulder height. So keep those palms shining toward the sky. Whenever we take the arms overhead, the palms should be up toward the sky. And whenever we bring them down below shoulder height, that's when we want to have the palms turned down. And that's just a nice way to keep the shoulders healthy. So if we don't have any shoulder concerns, it's just good skills for your yoga practice. And if we do, it's good extra TLC for your shoulders. One more time, opening up to sun pose. Now let's bring the arms to shoulder height, turn the palms down, take them all the way down, stepping up to the top of the mat here. Both feet hips distance apart. Let's inhale the arms up to shoulder height, put a little bend in the knees and swan dive to a forward fold. Now here we want to inhale, lifting into monkey, just resting the hands on the legs. On the exhale, let's head down to a forward fold. Little bend in the knees as we rise up and bring those arms to shoulder height. Exhaling down. Inhaling as we lift to monkey with a nice flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, rise up tall. We're going to use 2 more of our monkey flows. Last time. Now this time we're going to swan dive down and take down one knee and then the other and stack right up into your all fours posture. Now remember, if it's not comfortable to have flat hands, you can certainly have a fist here, or if you have a small hand weight, you could hold on to the hand weight, and that could give you some more wrist structure. So in our all fours, let's begin by, here we're going to inhale for cow. And on the exhale, let's curl up like a Halloween cat. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's curl up into our cat pose one more time and then come back to that neutral spine. As we look down at the mat here, let's inhale, engaging our abdominals. And on the exhale, we bring the right knee under toward the nose. And on the inhale, we press that right heel upward. Exhaling nose to knee. Inhale as you press upward. So we've turned our cat and cow into sunbird flow for a little more hip mobility work. One more time through, nose to knee. Then we'll press that heel upward and we'll come back to all fours. Now let's try it on the other side. So again, engage your abdominals here, always supporting the back. Let's inhale. On the exhale, bring the left knee in toward the nose. On the inhale, press that heel upward with a little arch in the back. So we round the spine, nose to knee, and we press that heel upward. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. One more time, nose to knee. And then we'll press that heel upward and we'll come on back to all fours. Now let's reach those hips back toward the heels, coming into child's pose, balasana. And remember, this is a wonderful resting yoga pose. So if you ever need to take a break, come on down to child's pose. Now on the next inhale, let's shift the whole body forward into a strong kneeling plank. Shoulders are over the wrists and we engage the abdominal muscles. Now keep the elbows close to the body and lower yourself down to the mat. On the inhale, let's lift into cobra like a snake in the grass. And on the exhale, lift the body all the way back to child's pose. Again, let's inhale forward. Exhale, lower down with control. Inhale, lifting to cobra. Exhaling, coming all the way back. Inhaling forward. Exhaling as we lower down. Inhale, lifting, and exhaling all the way back. Just working on a little bit of our upper body practice here. Lowering down, inhaling as we lift, exhaling, coming all the way back. 2 more times. And then we'll come all the way back into our child's pose and take a few breaths here. Now when you're ready, let's come all the way back to all fours. I thought we'd work on our kneeling plank today. So what we're going to do is kickstand out the left toes on the diagonal, and we're going to point the right toes out, and the right leg is pointing out long. Now lift up with the right arm and find some balance here in our kneeling plank. Think about rotating the shoulders back as if they're against a flat surface. You're welcome to lift that right leg off the ground if you want more balance work today. Let's take 3 more breaths. Kneeling plank. Trying to strengthen those shoulders here. Now when you're ready, gently, gently lower back to all fours. And this time, let's kickstand out the right toes on the diagonal, pointing through the left leg, lifting the left arm, choosing whichever options feel best for you today. And when we're ready, let's come on back gently to all fours. Reach the hips back toward the heels. Why don't we walk the hands over on one diagonal, either side, and just stretch out through the trunk. Then we'll walk our hands back to the center and over to the other diagonal. Then we'll walk those hands back to the center and we'll shift forward to all fours. Now let's lower our forearms down to the ground. So our elbows are about shoulders width apart here. We bring the palms of our hands together and lace the fingers. We tuck in the bottom pinky and curl our toes down to the mat. We're going to use dolphin today, gang. So let's press the heels back and down, just like downward dog. The forearms are supporting our dolphin pose. We're engaging our abdominal muscles. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then gently lowering the knees to the ground, unlace the fingers and bring yourself right back to all fours. Now we're going to step our right foot forward, stepping it all the way up to the hands. This looks like a runner's lunge here, so we can stay low to the ground, or we could walk our hands up to that bent knee to find rest there. Or we could also reach those arms up high, or let the arms rest. It's always up to you. Keeping the abdominals engaged in a kneeling lunge. And when we're ready, let's bring ourselves back down. Take that right foot back. Step the left foot forward. Same thing here. You can be down low to the ground. You could choose to walk it up to rest on the knee, or you could take those arms up high. All of us are engaging the abdominals to help with our balance here. A really good stretch for the hips. Now when you're ready, come all the way back down. Take that left foot back, reaching our hips back toward the heels. Now we're going to do a shoulder-friendly sun salutation. So on the next inhale, let's come forward to that strong kneeling plank and lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Now lift the heart away from the mat for cobra, and then let's lift the body back into our child's pose. From here, we're going to come back to all fours, step up with one foot and then the other. And on the inhale, let's lift the arms to shoulder height and exhale into a strong chair pose. Inhaling arms to shoulder height, swan diving down to a forward fold, stepping back with one knee and then the other, coming back to child's pose. Inhaling, coming forward to a kneeling plank. Exhaling down to the ground. Inhale, lift to cobra. Exhaling, coming all the way back. Now let's move forward to all fours. Step one foot forward and then the other. Little bend in the knees as we rise up tall, and then we exhale into a chair. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, swan diving down. Stepping back with one knee and then the other. Finding our child's pose. Inhaling forward to kneeling plank. Lower with control. Keep the elbows close to the body for cobra. And then bring yourself back to child's pose. Coming forward to all fours. Step one foot up, then the other. Lifting, and then exhaling to chair. Swan diving down. Stepping one knee back and then the other. Finding our child's pose. Inhaling forward to kneeling plank. Lower with control. Lifting to cobra. Exhaling back to child's pose. Stepping one foot forward and then the other. Rising with a little bend in the knees to protect the back and sitting back into chair. So let's keep on moving through this sun salutation. Listen to the body. Take breaks when you need to. Two more times through our sun salutation, building good heat in the body. last time through. And when you're finished, let's bring those arms all the way back down. Let's take a drink if you have one. So hopefully the body's feeling good and warmed up. We can get into some of our deeper stretches. So we're still going to continue to give some TLC to the neck and to the shoulders. So let's just stand up nice and tall, gently, gently rolling the shoulders back, finding that good posture. And let's take our left arm and just gently reach across the chest and hug it in close for a half knot, stretching out the back side of the shoulders here. Now let's relax that half knot. Bring your right arm across and let's hug it in close to the body. Now let's relax that arm and roll the shoulders back and down. Let's inhale nice and tall through the posture. And on the exhale, let's take the left ear down toward the left shoulder. So it's just a side tilt of the neck. But then let's also reach out through our right arm on the diagonal. And that magnifies that stretch through the neck, takes it down into the shoulders there. Now on the inhale, let's bring the neck upright, roll the shoulders back. Let's inhale again, nice and tall. This time, let's tilt the head over to the right side. And then we'll extend down long through that left arm, feeling that mighty stretch for the left side of the neck. And then we'll bring that crown all the way back upright, standing up tall. Let's inhale. On the exhale, let's gently turn the head to look over one shoulder. And on the inhale, we'll look up at a slight diagonal as a bird looks out of its nest. And on this exhale, we want to circle down with the chin, down toward the chest, inhaling and lifting to look out of another bird's nest. Exhaling, lowering the chin, inhaling and lifting, exhaling down. Inhaling as we lift, exhaling as we lower. One more time in each direction. And then we'll bring the head back to the center and roll the shoulders back. So let's lace our fingers here. We're going to try upholding heaven, which is a good way to stretch out the spine, lengthen through the arms, and also strengthen the elbows. And it can be some good stretch for the shoulders, but again, listen to the body at all times. Let's inhale those arms up to shoulder height, and then let's turn the palms outward. Now you don't have to go any further than this. If this is enough for the shoulders, we'll stay right here. If you feel like you want to try more, we can lift those arms as high as is comfortable for us. And we can always change our mind if things are not feeling comfortable. Just remember, this is your practice. It's all for you. So change things as you need to. Breathing rather than holding our breath. Now let's bring those arms back to shoulder height. Turn the palms of the hands over. Just stir up the air beside you a little bit to loosen up through the wrists and reverse that circle. Now let's bring both hands together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Inhaling, lifting up tall, engaging our abdominals. On the exhale, let's start to twist, starting below the belly button. Feeling it rising into the mid-belly, maybe into the ribs too. Trying to keep the hips as forward as is comfortable while the torso is twisting in one direction. Standing spinal twist. Now gently, gently, let's unwind ourselves back to the center. Let's do it on the other side. Inhaling, engaging our abdominals, lifting tall. Exhaling, twisting, twisting in the opposite direction. Now gently, gently, let's come all the way back to the center. Relax those arms. Let's find our way to the top of our mat. And let's stand with our feet hips distance apart as if you're standing on the outer edge of railroad tracks. Now let's step back with our left leg, stepping as far back as we can with that whole left foot connecting to the ground. And I like to angle my toes just out slightly on the diagonal. Then we're going to turn our hips to face forward. Let's just relax the arms here. We've been doing a lot of work through the arms today. Let's engage the abdominals, looking straight out into the distance with a soft gaze through the eyes. This is our strong and peaceful warrior one. Now when we're ready, let's leave the right foot where it is. Gently step back with the left foot, coming into that balance beam-like stance, preparing for warrior two. The left foot is now parallel to the back of the mat. The right toes are still facing forward. And I can choose to either reach out through both arms in that traditional warrior two, or if I want, I can just take one arm. I can reduce it to no arms, but still keep that good opening of the hips. So choose whichever you like here. If you've got those arms out long, let's focus on the tip of that right middle finger and allow all other thoughts to fade away. Now from here, let's turn that right palm up to the sky. Let's reach forward a little as if you're serving your friends, and then gently, gently tilt the upper body back for reverse warrior. Now you can choose to look up to your high right hand for extra balance work, or you could look straight ahead if that's more comfortable for the neck. And you could even look straight past that right arm into the distance. Now let's bring both arms down. Let's relax and step up to the top of the mat here. Let's inhale the arms up just to shoulder height, putting a little bend in the knees. We come down to our forward fold. And on the inhale, we lift up to that nice monkey back. And on the exhale, down to forward fold. A little bend in the knees as we rise up, arms at shoulder height, swan diving down. Inhaling and lifting to monkey with strong backs and abdominals. Exhaling down. Inhaling, rising up. One more time. Swan diving. Inhaling and lifting to monkey. Exhaling, forward fold. Rising as we inhale, and then lower those arms down. Let's find those feet again at hips distance apart. This time, let's take our right foot back as far as we can step. We still have that good bend in our left knee. We turn the hips to face forward. Maybe this time we'll use a behind the back forearm bind as another option. It helps us get a little more stretch through the shoulders, but only if that's what we're looking for. Two more breaths in warrior one. Now let's leave that left foot where it is. Gently pick up the right foot, stepping back into that warrior two stance. Decide what you want to do here with the arms. It's always up to you. Now from here, we're going to turn that palm up to the ceiling. So that's the left palm. Reach forward a little to lengthen the spine, then a little tilt back into reverse warrior. Still keeping that good bend in the front knee. Now let's bring those arms back to shoulder height, relax them, stepping all the way up. Shake out those legs here. All right, so we're going to do a little standing balance work. So we're going to shift our balance over to one foot. And let's point through the opposite toes. Draw those toes in and let's find your favorite version of tree pose today. And I'm feeling very fortunate because I get to be outside here with all these beautiful trees. So as you're watching this video, if you don't have any of your own trees close by, let's look at these. Notice how they are strong and tall, and they still have that flexibility to bend in the wind. So let's get rooted down through that one supporting leg. Finding our strength, but also remembering that we can be flexible too. 3 more breaths. Now let's shake out those limbs. Let's move the same pose over to the other side of the body. So shift to your other leg. Plant those tree limbs wherever they feel best today. Remember, another nice thing that you should be doing here is pulling in your trunk muscles. The strong trunk is going to support your tall tree. And look out into the distance, either at one of the trees behind me or at a steady focal point if you need some stability help. Now, when you're ready, let's shake those limbs out. We're going to use pyramid pose here now. So we want to start off at the top of the mat. Let's take our left foot just a short step back. So we have a staggered stance, but it's not as deep as Warrior One. Let's start to inhale and straighten those legs as much as is comfortable. And then on the exhale, we hinge forward from the hips with a nice flat back. You might walk on down that front leg, but it all depends on what's most comfortable for you. Now remember, if you're down around that knee, we want to make sure we're not pressing down hard on the knee. You can be above it or below it. It's all up to you. Pyramid pose. Abdominals are strong, supporting the back at all times. And the hands are just resting on the legs like little butterflies on a flower. And as we breathe into the pose, sometimes we might walk a little further down. Let's take 2 more breaths. And on the inhale, let's walk, walk, walk all the way upright, stepping the left foot forward. Let's now take the right foot just a short step back. So on the inhale, let's straighten those legs. And on the exhale, a hinge forward, walking as far down into pyramid as you'd like. Now on the next inhale, let's lift and walk the body back up. We'll take both feet up toward the top of the mat here. Inhaling the arms to shoulder height. Little bend in the knees as we swan dive to a forward fold. And we take a moment here to straighten the legs as much as is comfortable today. Letting the head hang loose here as a natural extension of the spine. Now when we're ready, let's take down one knee and then the other and find your most comfortable version of child's pose, whatever that looks like for you. Now when you're ready, let's walk those hands back toward the knees, lifting through the torso, and let's bring our feet out from under us and have a seat here on the mat. All right, so let's just take a comfortable, easy seated position. You might have crossed legs, you might have legs out long in front of you. It doesn't matter which way you want to use. So let's reach both arms out to the side and wrap ourselves up in a nice double hug. Stretching out the back of the shoulders here. Also giving ourselves a hug for getting into this practice today. Enjoying this time with ourselves. Now look down at your elbows here. One of them is probably on top. So we want to make a note of which one that is. Then open up. And this time when we give ourselves a hug, I want you to bring your other elbow in on top, just to balance out those hugs. And when you're ready, let's relax those hugs. Just bring your hands down to rest beside you here on the mat. Let's inhale the right arm straight up along the body and then take a little side bend here. Then when you're ready, on the inhale, lift, lift, lift with the trunk muscles and exhale that arm down. This time, let's take the left arm straight up, reach high, then a side bend. Now when you're ready, lift, 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 and exhale that arm all the way back down. Now, we're going to try a little stretch for the neck here, and it's going to be kind of hard to see, but let's just get into it together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take both hands and just take them behind your neck. So the palms of your hands are resting against the back of your neck. The fingers don't have to be laced. We just want to hold on back there. So let's first inhale tall. And on the exhale, let's just lower the chin down toward the chest. And already we start to feel the lengthening of those muscles behind the neck. Now what we want to do here with the hands behind the neck, we want to kind of slide the hands up so that we're sliding up with the pinkies toward the base of our skull. It's not a big movement, gang. We're just going to slide those hands up a little bit, and we'll feel a little more extension through the neck there. Two more breaths. And then we'll just bring the chin back to its normal parallel to the ground level and roll those shoulders back. So just another way that you can take a little yoga break and you can help stretch out the muscles in the neck there. I thought since we're out here in this lovely wooded space, we would use owl pose as our seated twist version. So with owl, all of the twist comes from the trunk, like it does for all of our other twisting poses. But I want you to notice that when we twist, we're going to engage first, and then the hands are just going to kind of hover, 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 and I'm going to reach my hand toward the opposite knee. That's how owl works. And then we'll come back to the center, and then we'll hover, hover, hover over to the other side. So the hands are not what's doing the work. It's all coming from our trunk muscles. So let's go ahead and get started with owl. Let's inhale, pulling in these abdominal muscles, lifting up tall. And on the exhale, let's take our right hand and start to hover, hover, hover over to the left knee. So my right hand comes across the body, resting on the left knee. And we're sitting up nice and tall. My left hand is just resting on the grass behind me or maybe beside me if that's as far as I want to twist. Breathing through the twist rather than holding our breath. Now when you're ready, we're going to unwind through the trunk. So let those hands just sort of hover, hover back. Let's come back to the center. Inhale, engaging the trunk muscles. Exhale, this time the left hand goes over to the right knee. Now when you're ready, gently, gently come on back to the center. Now let's go ahead and slide on up toward the top of the mat here. With bent knees, Let's gently, gently roll on down one vertebrae at a time and hug those knees in toward the chest. Just let the back relax a moment here. You might choose to rock the knees or circle them around. Lots of good options here. If you're using a circle pattern, always remember to reverse the circles so that we try to bring balance to all that we do in our practice. And then hug those knees back in toward the chest. Now let's take the right foot or the right leg and let's keep it bent, but bring your right foot down to the ground. Let's take our two first and second fingers of the left hand, so peace fingers. Take your peace fingers, and if you can reach your left big toe, let's hook onto it. If you can't reach it, no worries. Just hold on to any part of the lower leg or even above the knee if that's more comfortable. And we're going to try to straighten this leg as much as it wants to straighten today. Just to feel that wonderful stretch of the muscles behind our legs. Now, if you want to take that leg on a slight diagonal out to the side, we can do that too. Now let's bring that leg back to the center, release that bind, and let's switch legs. So let's use our peace fingers to connect with our right big toe now. Straightening that leg as much as it's comfortable straightening. And sometimes they don't want to straighten so much, and that's okay. Let's just be present with where we are today. Maybe we'll take that leg out to that slight diagonal. Now let's bring that leg back to the center. Keeping the knees bent, let's walk our feet together so they're side by side and the knees are side by side. And let's open up into a reclined butterfly position. Now, another good way that we can stretch out the shoulders, if you want to, would be to bring the hands, imagine we're bringing them to heart center here, palms together, and then open your arms out into sort of like cactus arms. Now, when you're ready, bring those butterfly wings back upright. Take those arms and you can just bring them out to shoulder height right beside you like scarecrow arms. Let's extend the left leg long to the ground. So one long left leg, and let's lift up that right shin so it's parallel to the sky. Now we're going to take that right bent leg and cross it over our long left leg for a supine spinal twist. Now your right leg might be willing to go all the way down to the ground. It might be hovering in the air. Wherever it is today, just let's be mindful that that's where it's going today, and always keep both shoulders connected to the ground to protect the back. Let's take 3 more breaths over here. Now, when you're ready, gently, gently roll the body back to the center. This time, we'll straighten out the right leg. Bring that left shin parallel to the sky, and then cross it over gently, gently, keeping the shoulder blades connected to the ground beneath us. And when we're ready, gently, gently come on back to the center. We can continue to keep both legs long here if it's comfortable to do so. Let the feet fall apart in relaxation. And let's bring the arms to just outside of the hips. Palms up toward the sky. Lying here in our traditional Shavasana pose for the end of our practice. You're always welcome to keep the knees bent or take any other form that you'd rather use. And as we lie here in Shavasana, let's do our best to quiet the mind of any stray thoughts. Remember to just breathe in a relaxed way and just lie here as an observer without any expectations. When we're ready, let's start to invite some small movements into our fingers and our toes, gently, gently waking them. And let's start to breathe a little more deeply, breathing good, nourishing oxygen into all parts of this physical body and mind. And we find our hearts are shining with gratitude today. Grateful for this practice that we can share with each other. Grateful for this beautiful space for our practice today. and always grateful for the many gifts our practice gives to us time and time again every time we come to the mat. Now, let's go ahead and take the knees and just gently, gently bend them when you're ready. And let's hug those knees in toward the chest. You might choose to gently rock the knees side to side, massaging the back in a gesture of self-care. And then when we're ready, let's very carefully roll the whole body over to one side on the ground. Each of us breathing in the peace, balance, and the focus that we've shared here today, intending to take it with us everywhere we go. And exhaling all of the warmth, kindness, encouragement, and love that we have for each other, for the world around us, and for ourselves. And when we're ready, with our eyes still closed, let's gently make our way back up to an easy seated posture on the mat. I invite each one of us to bring the palms together at heart center. We'll start to rub the hands vigorously to warm them. And we'll use these warm hands to gently cover our closed eyes. And that wonderful heat that we find there is inviting our eyes to slowly open, and we bring our hands to rest upon our laps. Clear minds, kind words, compassionate hearts. Namaste.